Hi everybody, welcome back to another edition of Principles of Learning. I'm your host, Dave Thomas. Principles of Learning, of course, a chance for you to obtain all the information, what's going on in every one of our schools. And we have a great one for you today. I'm going to introduce to you the principal of Keith Valley Middle School once again, and back for another Principles of Learning, Mr. Jon Kircher.
You got it, Dave. Nice to see you again. Thanks
Absolute
for
pleasure.
me back.
And we have another guest with us today as well. And one thing we've been doing throughout the school year is we like to spotlight some of the new employees, but then other times the great employees, and other times some of the new administrators. And this is the second show in a row that we can do that, but not a new face at all. Jon Ewerth, welcome to the show, first of all.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate the
Congratulations,
opportunity to be here.
by the way.
Thank you.
New assistant principal over at KV. Jon, what grade level is Jon doing? And then, of course, let's go back to the decision that you made. Why Jon Ewerth, after all those years in the classroom, as now a principal?
Sure. Well, Jon has primary responsibilities for 8th grade discipline, 8th grade teams, but he's also a John of all trades, not a jack of all trades, but John of all trades. He oversees our PSSA testing. He's done the KV Challenge. He works with 8th grade schedule. So there's lots of things that he does, and it was a very easy choice. He's been a superstar from day one.
And you've known him forever.
Absolutely, yeah. And he was well known to us, so he knows our systems and was integral in designing some of our programs. So we've really welcomed him, and he's done a great job.
It's always nice, if you can bring somebody in from the outside, but sometimes when you know those people who have been in the trenches with you throughout, it's kind of just like a no-brainer if they can step up. Jon, more about you now, because other people probably would know more about your bio. Tell us a little bit about you, how you got started in this, and then let's move up to the classroom level and then past the classroom level as then a principal. Sure,
Dave. I was hired to teach math, 8th grade math in the Hatboro-Horsham School District back in the 2000-2001 school year. And that was a great opportunity for me right out of college, looking for an opportunity to work with kids and to teach, and those were my passions, especially in the area of math. And so, moving through teaching math was an exciting time for me, learning lots of new things, getting to work with a lot of great people, and just starting to delve into my career as an educator. But along the way, I definitely felt the need to lead, and definitely started to pursue the avenue of leadership in education. 2 years ago, I had a great opportunity to step in as interim assistant principal into the role that I'm in now due to a maternity leave, and that was a great learning experience for me. And then to have this opportunity to come about now has been really exciting for me. There's still a lot that I've been able to learn, and we've had a lot of great experiences so far this year in 8th grade that I've been really excited about.
Now, you had been there for so many KV challenges, being a member of that staff, being in the building for all those things, but then you got a little different chance this year. I know we have some video of that, but you were the MC this year as well? Well,
the 8th grade office is responsible for the Keith Valley Challenge, the event where 8th graders come together to raise money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation. And this was the first year that I guess the buck stopped with me, so to speak, regarding the Keith Valley Challenge. But it would be ridiculous to think that I'm solely behind the entire Keith Valley Challenge. We have a team approach here. There's so many people that are involved in helping with a lot of the details. But it was really a humbling experience for me to be a part of that this year. And this year's Keith Valley Challenge was absolutely phenomenal. We raised a huge amount of money for the Make-A-Wish Foundation, the most ever raised by one single 8th grade class, $58,250. We made some small changes along the way this year, adding some things that I think made it that much better. But it really was an awesome experience that I'll never forget.
I'll have to ask Kirch later if he minded giving up the podium there for an afternoon.
Well, we share the podium on that afternoon.
All right, because he couldn't give it up totally. Now, the other question for you is, too, because we have Tracy DeRozier here in the high school that has then transitioned from the classroom, many years in the classroom, then to being a principal here, and then you're the same thing down at KV. Tell me a little bit about that bridge between one and the other and how it has helped you connect with staff, but then also, do your job effectively as a principal as well.
Sure. I mean, I really have enjoyed so many of the people that I've gotten to know and to work with over the last 13 years. Leading that group of individuals, that group of colleagues and faculty members is something that I've been really comfortable with. We work with a great staff down at Keith Valley. I know they have the best interest of the kids in mind with every decision that they make. So working alongside of them has really been something that I've enjoyed doing and have been able to build on the relationships that I have had with them over the past 13 years.
Awesome. Well, it was great talking to you. I mean, not like you needed my seal of approval, Jon, but Jon Ewerth, great choice.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And we'll be right back with a little bit more from Jon Kircher, more of the happenings of KV Middle School when we come right back after this commercial break.
The Hatboro-Horsham Television Network continues to be your source for Hatboro-Horsham School District information and events. HHTV produces a variety of programming that informs, educates, and entertains the Hatboro-Horsham community. Our News You Can Use show highlights events and student achievement in the school district. And each of our 7 primary principals speaks about their brand of education on the Principles of Learning talk show. And want to know what kind of instruction our students receive? Well, tune in to Celebration of Excellence, which focuses on innovation instruction by our teachers. Outlining our school district plans and goals is Superintendent Dr. Curtis Griffin in Talk Soup. HHTV also covers many sports events, concerts, and special events throughout the school year. A combination of students and staff power the engine behind HHTV that is available on Comcast, Verizon, YouTube, and our website. Most events are streamed live for your viewing convenience. HHTV, highlighting excellence in education.
Welcome back, everybody. Principles of Learning. And on display today, we have the Keith Valley Middle School and Principal Jon Kircher. Lots to talk about, and we're going to start about one of the key programs over there. They're actually, this is always a fun show for me because we could probably do like an hour.
Easily.
2 hours.
Yeah.
I mean, there's always a million things going on at
Sure.
KV,
Yeah.
much to your credit, much to your staff's credit, much to the kids' credit. Let's talk with KV Connects, though. This is the Connects blocks, as we were just talking about.
You got
off
it,
the
yes.
air.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
KV Connects is a program that's character education, bullying prevention, citizenship, decision-making, all rolled into one. So we have a weekly advisory program and on Friday afternoons, and the students learn about things and be able to talk about things that are on their minds. It may be school-related, they may be team-building-oriented games, discussion games, and we pair 4 6th graders, 4 7th graders, and 4 8th graders with a staff member, as I'm sure you're seeing the footage now, and they work together on how they're developing their skills that are not reading, math, science, social studies related. So it's really it's a great program. Kids love it, and we have won 2 national awards for it too. And it's all homegrown, run by teachers. We have a student ambassador program, and they give us feedback too and give us ideas.
Now that it's been in place for a couple of years, what has been some of the feedback from kids, even when they come here to the high school and they reflect back on the Connects program and what it did for them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, now even at the high school, I know that there's a Hatter ambassador group that's modeled after our Connects program. So we like to think that it's growing that way. And it's one of the, if you look through the yearbook and the kids can choose their highlights, a lot of times KV Connects Advisory is right there with it.
Very cool. All right, as with so many schools, and unfortunately it takes a horrible type of situation to make change in school security. I mean, you and I remember, during our not so far away past was Columbine, and then everything changed security-wise. Of course, then you have everything from Connecticut, and then you have to make changes again. You guys have now transitioned to quite a security system down at KV. Tell us about the new swipe system.
I mean, entering into education, I never saw myself as being a top cop. I'm not the top cop for the district, but I'm the top cop at KV.
Yeah, sure.
And but we've learned so much from Mr. Tomlinson, who's our security director. He's awesome. But we have a security system where you sign in, you have to have your driver's license, you're stating your purpose, you're coming in, an email sent to us, we know who you are coming in, you get background checked, and then we can make it, obviously we're not going to hold anybody out that has a purpose to be there, but if they don't have a purpose to be there and they're red flagged, we're not going to allow them in.
You have seen nothing but success with this, and I mean, what to you is the main cause, other than just overall security? Why then is it so important to have this extra layer and then an extra layer? Because I know not too many years back, you made the entrance, you shifted it over a little bit, and you made it so you couldn't just come in the main doors. But now this is on top of that.
This is a major deterrent. It keeps the outside folks that are going to come in, if they're going to come in to cause harm, that's where that's going to stop. What we now are able to focus on, and it gets back to the Connects program, is getting to know kids and the struggles that they have outside of school to prevent the internal, because that's something that we aren't, we don't want to have metal detectors at all of our doors, at least not yet, and I'm hoping we never have to get that far. But the idea that we have our teams, or smaller teams now with our schedule change, and the idea that we know kids and are able to help kids and their families if they're struggling, or if students are struggling through any kind of mental or social issues, we can get them the supports they need before it blows up too hard.
Let me ask you this too, because KV is definitely the funkiest building in the entire district. It's one of those where there's doors everywhere. When you were looking at the security system, how much did that come into play where you said, well, there's so many loose ends, there's maverick doors, if you will, that are just kind of everywhere. How did you do that?
Keith Valley was built in 1957, added on to in 59, 63, 68, 69, 93, 96, and 2005. I think it lasts, don't quote me, but 276,512 square feet. It's horrible that I know that. But as building principal, you need to know a lot about your school. So we really try our best, and we do the swipe cards on the doors. We have taken away key locks. We're working on security camera systems. We were just here at the high school today looking at the high school cameras and how we could use a system like that at Keith Valley, just again to protect, make sure that flow's going well, and that if we ever need them in an emergency, we have them.
That's awesome. All right, let's move on to some other things too. I know this is actually one of your personal favorites, the KV Veterans Breakfast.
Yes.
When you bring veterans into the school, just by default, it's a walking history book. I know I'm so fortunate to still have my grandfather alive, but when you look at these kids and their reactions, is it still like just in shock that these guys have that much experience in their life?
It's amazing. It is one of our top community outreach programs, and it goes beyond reaching out to the families of KV. This is outside of that. This is community of Hatboro-Horsham and even beyond. So if you are a relative that's a service person, or a neighbor or a family friend, you bring them in, him or her in, and you have breakfast sponsored by our student council. We have letters written by Connects Advisories thanking them for service. It is just an amazing day to see kids connecting with adults and listening, as you said, to living history. The stories that are shared, just fabulous. And we have an open mic time, and they pass around, and you hear the stories of the Battle of Midway in World War II, through Korea, Vietnam, all the way up to present day. And it's amazing. But what's more important, it connects to living history. And as the World War II generation departs us and they're not replaced, it's permanently there. And you'll see some of the footage. You'll see, our teachers are there. Mr. Ewerth took a big leadership role. Our student council was involved this year, and it was just a great time.
Awesome. One of the other things too is when you go to KV, you're never not fed.
Yes.
Just breakfast all
the time.
There's always a breakfast going on.
All the time.
Student recognition breakfast, another breakfast that you had. But now, what kind of recognition? Just a little bit of everything, or it's very specific?
It's student of the month breakfast. So it's the teams choose the outstanding school citizens. So it's students who, as we at Keith Valley with our motto, PACE, personal excellence, civic excellence, academic excellence. They're really the pace setters, quote unquote, that we say, not to be cliche.
No, not at all.
But they really work hard in doing that, and then we honor them by having them come in, invite mom, dad, stepmom, stepdad, whoever is at home with their family, come in. They have breakfast together. We even have younger siblings have come in, which is great too, because they're future KVers and they see this. And then the students are able to invite a staff member to come in, and that staff member then speaks about the qualities of that individual.
Wow.
There's never a dry eye in the place.
That is so cool.
Because you're hearing, and but I hate to be the last person to go, because
it's true,
the 12th person is saying the same thing, but it's still heartwarming to hear that after everyone is said.
Especially at that age.
It's great. And even now it's spreading. The elementary principals are asking me, can they come?
Yeah, sure.
Because it's celebrating them, it's celebrating their schools as well. So Mrs. Cantor came last week. I'm hoping the other principals come by in the coming months.
That's really neat, especially at that age. I mean, you and I both know we have kids. For them to hear what other people think of them in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, because they would never believe you otherwise.
Exactly, and those are the best days. Those are the best starts to those days.
Sure.
Because you're just on an emotional high, because you're honoring kids in a middle school setting, which is wonderful.
All right, praise and breakfast, all in one shot. We like it.
it.
All right, there's a lot of terms. As a parent with students in high school, students in younger schools, you look at this, you're always hearing these terms, and there's this one called hybrid learning. First of all, let's talk about what it is, and then what you do at KV with something called hybrid learning, because it sounds great.
It's awesome.
What is it?
It's a fancy word for kids using one-to-one computing options inside a brick and mortar school. So you hear about cyber charter schools, you hear about online learning. It's our version for students to come in using iPads, using iPad minis, using Mac laptops, using PC laptops in a school setting with a teacher in math, in reading, in science, and social studies. The hybrid learning project right now, though, is centered in 7th grade math, is really where we're piloting.
Okay.
So we have laptop carts, and then what they do is the students and the teachers are working with online programs in the classroom. Challenge for us at Keith Valley, though, right now is to get the online network, the wireless network, in a building as old as we are, to try to work that through. So that's the issues that we're working through
with all
right
those
now.
extensions, all those add-ons.
Exactly right. Yep. And it's supposedly they say it's not the concrete, but it's the metal that interprets with the wireless signal. But we're working through all those things, and we're learning every day. And what's great is we can learn from kids. So the kids talk about the apps. The kids talk to us about all those different pieces, and we learn from them.
Yeah, and we have to be open to that. I know.
Exactly right.
I've learned so much more about technology, and I'm technically a tech guy.
Exactly
and
right.
then you're just like, I'm not going to fake it anymore. I'm going to ask you.
Yes.
So you can tell me, and I can learn.
I'm at home asking my 11-year-old
all the time.
What is this?
So a message to you out there in parent land: don't be afraid to ask your kids how to work technology, because they know more than you do. Don't kid yourself. All right, the last part of the show is, and this is always a sad moment for you, because you have to let go of your amazing 8th graders. You got to let them come here to the high school.
We do.
But what does that promotion ceremony look like this year?
We've started the last couple of years, started by Mrs. Stout, who Mr. Ewerth is taking place. Right. But this year, we're ready to rock and roll with it again. We take the opportunity. In the past, we never had a true graduation. This isn't a graduation ceremony. It's more of a passing of the torch to the high school or beyond us. So we get a chance to do our 8th grade awards. I always called it senior awards. Our 8th grade awards and our 8th grade promotion, where we recognize that they are now leaving us and going to KV. And it's a night, again, to celebrate their achievements and celebrate their families and also their work, which is wonderful.
And you use a key word there too, because when you celebrate their families, you're celebrating your own there too. At KV, and I'll just flat out say it, I mean, you have a family mentality down there, and you've just ingrained that over a number of years. And so seeing those kids together, I mean, that's their family. We've noticed it, and I teach freshman English, and I've taught it now for 4 years. They literally know each other, they know everything about each other, and they come through as a group, and they stay tight together. We watched them come up for the last couple of years, and now this senior group, they were my first freshmen.
Okay,
they were your 8th graders, and here we are, and they stay together. It's a family mentality down there, and as something that celebrates them even more, nothing but good.
And we try, and we take parent feedback in. I mean, the first one we did was a little long last year, worked out better. So we're always taking feedback, and we're always making it better for kids so the kids can enjoy it.
Very good. Anything else you want to add?
No, this is great. Thanks for the opportunity, as always.
It's always a pleasure to have you. It's just so much to talk about down there. But that will wrap up this edition of Principals of Learning. Obviously, thank you to you, Jon Kircher and Jon Ewerth. Great to meet him on the other side, now being a principal over at KV. But thank you for taking the time to watch our show here on HHTV. Until next time, I'm Dave Thomas. Thanks as always for watching.